All right, welcome back to the RECKED podcast. This is more of a Q&A type of video, not really a full-length podcast. This is another type of content that I want to do every now and then. So hopefully you guys like this. I got some notes here for today. We're going to mostly talk about creative burnout and creative anxiety and stuff like that a lot of people like myself suffer with. It's very normal. And I'm just going to talk about ways that I try to overcome it, ways I deal with it, ways that I, try to avoid it at all costs, but it is something that's part of the job. And let's get into it. First, I want to go over some Q&A questions that you guys sent in on Instagram. I'll pop them up on the screen. So shout out to anybody that sent one in. We'll just do a couple of them. First one, advice to your 18-year-old self. Well, when I was 18, I was still in college. I was playing baseball. I was not really thinking about the future at all, which is not good. But when you're 18, I guess you're kind of just caught up in the moment, just trying to have fun, hang out with your friends and do all that shit. But I guess if I could talk to my 18-year-old self, I would probably say start thinking about the future sooner. I don't have any regrets with my life and the roads I took. But if there's one thing, I obviously would love to go back and start sooner and get a head start on all this stuff and learn about cameras and learn about editing a lot earlier on. But other than that, I really don't have any regrets. But I'd probably just start sooner and care more about your future and stop worrying about partying so much on the weekends and all that bullshit. Second question, consistency with Young LA content. That's going to actually tie into what we're going to talk about today with creative burnout. It gets tough, especially with Young LA specifically. We drop so much and there's so many new clothes and I got to always come up with new ideas every week. And it gets hard, trust me. But I just really try to stay creative and always think outside the box and keep up with trends. If I come across a video that I like, I'll save it. If there's a technique in the video that I think it's cool, I'll implement my little twist to it, and stay up to date with trends and stuff like that. So staying consistent is extremely hard, but I guess I've gotten better at it. I've gotten used to always having to think outside the box weekly, so it got easier for me, and I guess that comes with repetition. So, yeah. Next question. How do you manage your time with brands and personal content? I do not do a very good job of that, I'm not gonna lie. I work my ass off. I grind for the companies that I work for sure. And then I kind of put myself to the back burner a little bit over the last few years, which is justifiable in my opinion, because right now I'm focused on the brands and I kind of put myself to the side because getting to where I got was all me, personal content, posting myself and my edits and this, that, and that. So now me being so focused on myself got me these jobs that I have now with Young LA, with Gorilla. So now my focus did switch to that, but it is important to stay on top of my personal content, which I am getting better now with the RECKED pod and staying consistent with YouTube and Elliot helping me out. But obviously I could do more. I know I could do more, and that's something I still have to work on, something I've been saying for a while, and it's very hard. But yeah, personal content is super important. No matter what you have going on in life, you always have to make sure you're still prioritizing yourself and your own content. And I think that comes with trying to create a schedule for yourself, something that I'm not good at, but something I used to do for sure. I used to post every day, which I wouldn't even want to post every day anymore. But if you could at least do something where like you're posting one reel a week and 2 photos, something like that, or just some type of schedule, some type of thing you could follow and have to aim towards getting content for every week. So that's my advice with that. I got some cool news. My boy John, he's coming to town next week, and he helps like produce podcasts and stuff back home in New York. So he's gonna help. We're gonna run some dope episodes, probably one with Brian Del Mata. We're gonna get the mic set up and everything, do a nice production, maybe get 2 different camera angles. So he's gonna help out with that. Probably the first first pod I'm doing that I'm actually caring more about the visuals of it than the actual pod itself. Obviously, it's still going to be super valuable, but I really want to make this a appealing podcast to the eye, something that I've never done, even with legacy loading. And yeah, it's going to be sick, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's get into this creative burnout talk. I got my notes right here, and I got 5 different, what do you want to call it? 5 different, I guess, points that I want to go over. 5 different points that I've found from watching other videos, and I just want to add my 2 cents to them. First one, acknowledging its existence. That's the first step in this whole creative burnout thing, creative anxiety, is just acknowledging that it's present, acknowledging that it's happening, which is super normal. You know, when you get overwhelmed with shoots or you're not getting booked enough, either or, like, they both cause you stress and anxiety. For me, it's overworking. You know, I do a lot of work, I do a lot of editing, and it's tough to balance social life, girlfriend, families, like all these things, and you have to somehow acknowledge it, right? And one way of doing that is writing down your tasks at hand. Your brain can get all mushed up when you have a million things going on, your personal content, client content, and just there's a million things happening, and it's very overwhelming sometimes. So when I write things down, each thing I have to do, like say, edit this video, call this person, email this person, edit these photos. When I write it down and visually see what I have to do, it kind of relieves my stress a little bit, because then I start crossing things off as I finish them. And it just eases the brain when you literally see your tasks getting knocked off one by one. So that's something I would definitely recommend, is writing down things that you have to do, writing down your content schedule, and visually like grasping how much content or how much work you actually have to do. And yeah, it's helped out a bunch. I have notebooks everywhere in my office, because I'm just always writing shit down. And it's so cool to go back into these notebooks and I just see all these pages of things crossed out, all these 10 bullet point pages, and everything's crossed out. It's like a super relieving feeling, and something that everybody should do. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, take a break. Now, taking a break looks different for everybody, right? You could go for a walk, or you could go on a week vacation to ease your brain and just not create for a week and de-stress. For me, when I feel myself getting super overwhelmed, I like to, 1, work out, which is amazing. 2, I've been going for runs, going for walks, just clearing the brain. And it's important. You can't force yourself to create good work. You got to like mentally be there. Sometimes I'll sit down to edit and I just don't have it. I swear to God, I sit down, I'm like about to lock in, all my footage is uploaded, and then I'm just like, I don't got it right now. So for me, I'll literally go to sleep, wake up, and next day start again and start fresh. Because for me, it's all about that mental state you're in when it comes to creating. Even on set, when you're at a shoot, if you're not there, like it almost feels pointless. Like, you gotta mentally prepare for these things, and if your brain's not all there and you're not locked in, you gotta go and take a break. You gotta do something. You gotta get your mind off of creating for a second, so then you could snap back into, that creative mindset. Something I like to do also, I've been doing lately, is watching movies. I'm always creating or trying to create, so it's nice to switch over to the side of just absorbing and watching. And I like to watch all different types of movies, not gonna lie, but even on YouTube, you'll see these videos of these guys who post their BTS of these film production and stuff, and I just get so inspired watching how much work goes into these big budget movies, and it's just dope. I'll watch something like that, and then automatically my creativeness is like sparked, and I want to go create, I want to go edit. So that's super important too, something that you should definitely try out. Let's go to tip number 3, ask for feedback. Something I don't do a lot. Obviously, you are your hardest critic, right? Like I'll edit a video and watch it 8 billion times, and I just keep finding things that I don't like about it, but then I'll send it in and it's like, oh, this is fucking sick, this is dope. So you are your hardest critic, and it's important to get some feedback from people around you that you care about, people that will give you some, honest critique on your work. And I think that is super important, and you'll become a better creator by listening to other creators talk about your work and things you could do better or things you're doing right that you should do more often. And yeah, that comes back to having a solid circle of people around you, people that are aligned with your goals and people that do the same shit that you do. I can't stress enough how important that is, and something that I'm still working on. I got Brian Delmata, shout out to Brian. He's moving down here, like I said in the last episode, I'm pretty sure. He's going to be moving down here, and I just cannot wait to be locked in with him weekly, maybe doing a pod a week, or just meeting up to edit together and show each other's work and just get advice, give advice, learn, teach, and just it's special. It really is when you align with someone like that and you both do the same thing and create. And it's something that I hope everybody could eventually find in their journey on this crazy creative journey. With nowadays, especially with Instagram, it's like everybody's a fucking creator, and there's millions of creators out there that do the same thing, use the same cameras, and it comes back to, what is it, collaborative over competitive? Yeah, like you're stronger when you work together with people, not always trying to fucking outdo the next guy, or I find more benefit in working together with people and bringing great minds together and creating some special shit. You only go so far by yourself, and when you come together with people that do the same shit as you, you're unstoppable, and it's super important. Let's get on to point number 4. Seek out inspiration. That is super important, and something I always like to remind myself, I wrote down here, is remember why you started. Sometimes you get caught up in being stressed about your job or a certain project, and you kind of start having that self-doubt if like your next video is ever going to top your last one, or you'll ever have as good of a edit as something you did for a big client. And then so something like that, seek out inspiration. That can be in any form, like I said, like watching movies or talking to a creator or going on a trip, like leaving your camera home to try to just be more of a sponge and go out and absorb things around you and try to find like try to find a spark of creativity from just being you, not trying to capture content, just going out and connecting with people, going new places, seeing new things. I think that's super important as a creator. Tip number 5 is be kind to yourself. And this is something I just spoke about too, is trusting the timing of your journey, right? Being a creative is stressful enough. It's a blessing and a curse. And you can't be so hard on yourself all the time. And I try to do it myself. I'm always putting myself down, like, fuck, I don't know if this one's gonna be better than the last, or I don't know if this idea is good enough. I don't want to sit here and say it always works out, but you find ways to overcome that, and that comes back to having a solid team around you. Like sometimes if I don't have a good idea, if I got some brain funk and I have no idea what we're gonna shoot today, or I have no cool ideas, fucking Alan, Gavin, the guys I work with, they'll come up with something, and then I'm like, oh shit, that's a good idea, and then I'll add my twist to it. So that's super important. You're not always gonna be fucking locked in. You're not always gonna have the best ideas. You're not always gonna be on top of your game, but that's why the people around you are so important, and having that solid core team. Yeah, be kind to yourself. That was the last one, but that's probably one of the most important things. Telling yourself that good things will come out of this. Like if a shoot you feel like it's not going your way, like just try to stay positive. Try to think the best way possible about the outcome of the video, and know that you're gonna make it work. You're gonna fucking kill it. You're gonna fucking do what you gotta do to make it be what you want it to be. I feel like I'm ranting right now, but this is just, it's very normal as a creator to have stress, and people look at me like, oh, Joe's at like the highest level, and like he's killing it, he's doing all things. Dude, I'm far from perfect. I have the same stress as everybody else, and if anything, you get more stressed the higher you go in terms of your ranking and what you're doing, the levels of work. because there's more pressure on you to perform well because you're on a bigger stage. I guess that's where I find myself is you got to keep the fun in what you're doing. You know, even if you're doing shoots for Young LA or like some big client, you got to get back to that kid who just picked up the camera and was having fun with their friends, shooting the shit and fucking creating whatever the fuck you wanted. When you overthink it too much, that's when you find yourself not creating things that you're proud of. And very normal. I recently found myself sitting here editing, and the footage was uploading. This is gonna sound crazy. The footage was uploading, and I was like dreading it being fully uploaded because I was like, I don't know what to, like, I don't want to start this video. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this edit. I felt so unmotivated, and just all the creative juices were just out of me, and I had no idea what I was gonna do, and I was like dreading the footage uploading because I was like, I gotta start this shit. And that's when I knew. I was like, all right, this is when I took the step back and I acknowledged what was happening. It was burnout. It was just creative burnout. So if you're watching this and you're someone that feels this way and kind of understand these things I'm talking about, like it's very normal, and it's part of the job, and it's learning to overcome it, learning to deal with it, because it's not going anywhere. Trust me, like the stresses that come with being a creator, personally, I think it's only going to get worse. It's going to only get harder as technology and AI and all this bullshit keeps coming. So you just got to always remember there's only one of you. That's what makes you special. There's one of you. There's one LT, right? There's people out there that you want to emulate. You want to be in their position, but you got to remember that there's only one of you. So you don't want to be the next, that person. You know, you want to be the first you. Be good at something. Stand out for something that you do that no one else does. Try to find that thing. And yeah, you'll be successful. But I don't know how long we're at right now. I don't want to keep ranting, but I just thought that this was a cool little, I guess, Q&A video, more just me talking to the camera. And I would love to do more videos like this where it's on certain topics, a specific thing that I could break down. You guys could ask me questions leading up to me recording the video, and kind of make it more of a personal thing, you know, like where I'm answering specific questions that you guys who actually watch the videos are asking. So be very, I want to interact with you guys. So this is a great way to do it. And I appreciate everyone who's tuned in. Obviously, I'm sitting here, the views of the pod are like 300, 200. Listen, you got to start somewhere. It's almost like I'm hitting restart. But to me, when I see 200 views, I got off to be like, fuck, that sucks. But I'm thinking, bro, 200 people, imagine that in a fucking auditorium, and people are sitting down to listen to me talk for an hour, 200 people. So got to start somewhere. You know, I'm remembering why we're starting. And if I stay consistent, I know that this will reach the people that really need it, and people that will absorb the stuff I talk about and, you know, implement it in their own life and become the best creators, best versions of themselves in general. And yeah, so appreciate you guys tuning in, whoever's watching this right now. Hopefully you got something from this video. Next video, I want to probably another long pod with Brian, hopefully, but we'll see. But I do want to do a lot more videos like this where it's me just sitting down, talking, answering some questions to you guys, giving my takes on certain things. And yeah, so gonna write some more notes down, get prepped for next video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.